so much for joining me in another video. So as you can tell based on the title, today we are talking about the CELINE 16. Now this is a bag that I've had a few questions about, so I thought we would talk about it. This is my newest bag. So just a little bit about the history. This was created by CELINE. Apparently the story is he sketched it out the first day he arrived at the brand. Over the next 6 months they kept on working on it, trying to figure out the best configuration. They did a bunch of leather tests. I was just reading about this from Women's Wear Daily. At this point, CELINE's around like 65% of the brand's sales at that point came from accessories. So this was under Phoebe Philo. So I think they wanted to have a good line that they could offer for this new era. Accessories isn't just bags, it's sunglasses, shoes, belts, etc. They really wanted something that would signify this new era of CELINE. The number 16 refers to 16 Rue Vivienne, which is the headquarters of the brand in Paris, but the design actually really references its 60s heritage. When you look at vintage CELINE bags, just looking at the Japanese market and Japanese eBay, a lot of designs remind me of this style. When it was released, it was worn on a lot of CELINE's musician friends, and sort of these like French cultural figures were wearing this bag just to really signify the kind of direction this brand was going to be going in. So this particular style that I have, it's in this smooth leather. They also do this in a grain leather, although I don't know, maybe it's just like in Canada or something, like I never see it with the exception of the larger sizes or the soft styles. I've seen them on the pre-love market and I've seen them on 24S. They also do exotics, they also do canvas and like sort of seasonal prints and colors. Just as a tip as a Canadian, check 24S just in terms of coloring if you're finding that your local boutique just doesn't have a lot. Let's just go through the pros, cons, do I recommend sort of thing. The first pro to me is it's very versatile. You can wear this as like a crook of your arm kind of look, and also you can wear it as a shoulder bag or a crossbody. Frankly, on my frame, it's more of a crossbody option, but if I'm gonna be honest, I just prefer this. If I have to, it's nice to have this option, but I just prefer the look of this. I think because it has this extra place for that there, it just looks nicer when you do want to wear a crossbody. It's not just, you're kind of just hooking it on wherever. Another pro about this bag is I find it very easy to style. When I saw this bag come out, I was like, it's very mature. Frankly, I was like 28, now I'm like 32. I think this bag has been out roughly 4 years now. Definitely when I saw it come out, I was like, yeah, it's a very sophisticated, very mature, very elegant style, but I actually feel I have been able to wear this very easily. Wear this with something a little bit more fancy, or you can go very casual chic. I do think it's a nice way to elevate an outfit. It is actually surprisingly easy to style. It's kind of like that, I don't know if I want to say like high-low, but casual, dressy. It can lean both ways. I do think you need to kind of like tie it in with something, a nice blazer or like a cute pair of shoes, or just something that feels equally elevated. The next pro about this is it's got feet, which I really appreciate. And then the next pro I want to talk about is I know a lot of people are kind of into quiet luxury as being an in sort of thing. If you ask me, in terms of being one of these bags that not a lot of people, even I feel in like the handbag world, I have not seen this bag heavily unboxed on YouTube. It's just a bag that I'm not really seeing. It's not very hyped. In my opinion, is it quiet luxury? I think it can lean into that quiet luxury category if you are looking for that, but I wouldn't buy it because it's fitting this trend that everyone is into. That's just me. I do think it does in terms of that if you know factor. It's not really a bag I see very popular. It's not a bag that is on everyone's radar, but at the same token, it has been around for the last 4 years, especially at the rate at which handbags are being released right now, at the rate at which creative directors change. Handbags don't even last 2 years. I do think just kind of like slowly been doing its own thing. It is a part of the CELINE range. It's not overly hyped, which I think is really nice, but you know, maybe this is a con. Maybe you want a bag that is the hottest thing, the it bag of the season, so maybe it could be a con. I do think it kind of does fit into that quiet luxury category. So the next thing is it feels to me very substantial. It's very well designed. The details of it, they didn't just try to combine a bunch of things last minute or try to conform to the trends. It does feel there's meaningful compartments, and I just think it's very aesthetically pleasing when you wear it with an outfit. The next pro is it does come in a variety of colors, finishes. Again, I don't know why it's really hard to find the grain calfskin, but it is. If you do find it, snatch it up because they don't really have like a whole lot of quantity, it seems. They also have it in exotics, and that's like also like a good sign when a brand is bringing out a bag in a variety of colors and finishes, materials, patterns, season after season. I think it's like a good sign. Another thing I forgot to mention is it does come with a lock and clochette. Frankly, it's not really something I care to put on. I feel like it kind of gets in the way, which let's start off with that as being the first con. I think it kind of gets in the way as an aesthetic detail. If you're someone that likes that, it can be nice, but personally I just kind of like the simplicity. For me, just right now with my lifestyle, when I need something that's easy access, I don't want to have a lock in the way for me. Another con is the divider takes up space. It kind of reminds me of the YSL Lulu bags with kind of that divider. So if you want to put something that is bulkier, like a water bottle, sure, the organization factor is really nice, but I will say this, I find that when bags do have that internal divider, I find the shape of the bag holds better. I don't know, like maybe that's just me. The other con is there is no back pocket. The other con about this is the strap is non-adjustable. You know, you are kind of limited to, you know, this length. Of course, you can put your own strap. I would suggest that. Places like Etsy, you can find like really cool straps. I also think another con is it's quite expensive. I don't really think this is a very accessible price point, whereas I would say the Ava, it's a pretty reasonable price. When we're talking about stuff like this, of course, price is like a relative thing, etc., etc. It is their most expensive bag that they offer. I purchased mine pre-loved. Now, what I will say is the prices on the pre-love market have really creeped up as well, which is like kind of my next point. It doesn't really have resale value. It doesn't go over resale. So if you decide to sell it, you're not going to be making anywhere near your money back. But maybe in a very particular color, you might be able to find a good deal, especially in the black. But I have noticed the prices on the pre-love market have gone up, but not to the point where it's an investment. It's expensive, but there's also like if you try to sell it, you're kind of out of luck at that point. And another con is for a lot of people, they want a bag that they feel is like a house classic. I think it's too soon to tell. It's been only around 4-5 years, but I have said this in like a previous video. Eddie Slimane just finished his 5-year mark, did a whole video on CELINE's commercial success. I do think it's going to be here for another 5 years. Like obviously I could be wrong, but I do think it's reached this kind of like happy point where it's been around for some time. Aesthetically, it's very classic, even if maybe in 10 years Eddie Slimane isn't here at CELINE. If you're looking to keep a bag for a while, there's that. In terms of do I recommend, there's some bags I can easily recommend just because they're very universal. You just pick your own preference in terms of like color, material, etc. I honestly don't think this style of bag is going to be for everyone, but I feel like if you've stuck with me this long, you Google this bag and you have actively been like searching for more information about this bag, I think you will like this bag. I would recommend it to you. But if you clicked on this video because, you know, maybe this was like your up next video, happy to see you here. But if this is a bag that you've actively searched more information on and you've considered, and for whatever reason you found my video, thank you so much for sticking with me in this video. But I would say go for it. I would say this kind of top handle lady bag is not everyone's aesthetic, but I do think it's quite nice. Try it on obviously in store if you can. As soon as I tried the bag on, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And in conclusion, it's not quite the same as Phoebe Philo's minimalism of the 2010s. To me, this is more like that 60s Parisian that I think Eddie's been like really leaning into, late 60s. I think it's very like quintessential for his era at CELINE, and I think it's a great bag and definitely one to consider. That's my video. I would love to know what are your thoughts on the CELINE 16. Is it a bag that you are considering? Please let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next one.